I don't think leaders are born, but I have seen people evolve into leaders. You can't win until you keep from losing. And just that principle alone, hard work works. I grew up in Hampton, Virginia, early in my life, single parent home, 3 brothers, no sisters, just my mom, but a great set of grandparents. Most people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. We were kind of taught the opposite. We were taught, put all your eggs in one basket, and if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. While we didn't have a father for a short period of time in our lives, my grandfather kind of filled that role. He was a Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force, so come from a military background. He always used to talk about, working hard and also discipline. It's easy to be motivated. I feel like motivation in itself is fleeting, right? Because as soon as you get hit in the mouth or as soon as you run into some adversity, like what do you fall back on? And that is discipline. So I have a great relationship to this day.
One of the things I always tell him, I said, be someone that gives back to society. I guess he and I have a grandfather to grandson, but even closer than that, it's just a great relationship.
I'm noticing more that he's a lot like his grandfather. They have a military background and they're very, straight to the point, get things done, put your head down and work, put all your eggs in one basket kind of family, and it shows in every different aspect of his life.
When it was all said and done, I wanted to play at the highest level, and at the time, Tennessee, they were pumping linebackers into the NFL. And that was always my ultimate dream, was to get to the NFL. And so that experience and overcoming that experience and really upping my game, to play at that level, definitely kind of carried over to when I came here in 2008.
All right, go ahead, John, turn in, let it go.
With the 10th pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Jerod Mayo, linebacker, Tennessee.
How are you, Jerod? Excited? Yeah, well, we're excited to have you.
I didn't care where I went. I just wanted to go somewhere and help a team win.
Being a little boy in Hampton, Virginia, to here now is just, it's just exciting. I'm gonna be a sponge here and just try to pick up things from each and every one of these veterans on the team and hopefully have a great career like a lot of them have.
10th overall pick. That was my 13th year, I think. And then I looked at my watch and I'm like, yeah, it's about time for me to go. Because the writing's on the wall about bringing in a kid with that type of, ability at that selection in the draft. And I walked up to him in the locker room and just introduced myself because I knew that this was a guy, I didn't really consider him coming and take my job. I was a realist at that point. It was like, hey man, we got to learn to do this together.
You come into a locker room like that, it's once again, you're hitting a reset button and you're forced to prove yourself over and over again. Now you can either, kind of run through that brick wall and gain the respect of your teammates, or you can kind of cower and just walk away. And I've always tried to answer the challenge.
No excuses! No excuses! Hey, dominate! All three! 1, 2, 3!
It was just strange to see somebody so young with such a leadership role. I've never seen someone at that age. I was, the same age as him. To see him leading on that level, it was kind of surreal to me to watch. And it was really, really awesome to watch him progress with that as the years went by.
Jones ridden down at the 10-yard line. And he is going to be blocked by Jerod Mayo.
He's stopped.
What a play by the rookie.
Jerod Mayo with force.
Does he get plastered? Jerod Mayo.
It starts with do your job. There's no ambiguity around do your job.
Do our job! Everybody do our job! Do our job here!
There's no question about it. Did you do your job? Yes or no?
He's always been a leader of men. He just has a leadership mentality and he doesn't lead fearfully.
The Patriot brilliant rookie first-round draft pick continues to sparkle. Oh, what a hit! And he got labeled by Jerod Mayo.
Order, man! Hey, shut up! Hey, finish the game! 11 minutes, baby! Before we go!
Coming into an organization where the culture is already established, they have strong leaders. What more can you ask for?
Let's do it today! LB go through 1, 2, 3!
You come in as a first-round draft pick. Once again, that's just an opportunity for you to go out there and just learn from the older guys, right? Teddy Bruschi and Mike Vrabel kind of took me under their wing and taught me everything they knew. But by the time we got to the first regular season game, I was the starter.
And I know how I was taken in by various players like Ted Johnson and Todd Collins and Chris Slade. and it was my turn.
Hey, are you getting ready to buy another truck?
Yeah, bro.
How many you got?
Only one. I just got my F-250.
What do you got? A whole showroom of them?
I got an F-250 one. How do you know that?
You want a Volvo? No. See, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Once, he wanted to leave football and to take on this new role over at Optum, there's nothing that he doesn't think he can do.
The first time we met was at a charity function, and he and I just happened to be seated at the same table. He now looked at a new challenge and an opportunity, and to play as a linebacker in the NFL, many of those same principles he applied.
There are a bunch of synergies between sports and business, and it all goes back to hard work works though, right? And I was one that, work hard. It's all about full immersion for me. I joined the board of Boston Medical Center. I ended up, becoming vice president of business development for Optum. So it was all about just diving in head first.
He didn't want to be known as a player who went into business. He wanted to be known as a really great business person that helped develop teams and lead teams.
Like in sports, the end date. Like the end date is the Super Bowl. Like, what are we working towards? But you score a touchdown in business and it's just like, what's next? Next deal. Move on to the next deal.
When I think about leadership, it's not about telling people what to do. It's about inspiring people to really do things they thought they could never do. And I think that's a gift that he has, and not just in football, but in life, and how to be real successful, not just as an NFL player, but life after the NFL.
A lot of people say don't talk about leadership. I don't believe that you shouldn't talk about leadership. You can't evolve into a leader unless you talk to other leaders.
The ability to communicate with anyone and make them feel like you're on an equal level. He can speak on a level that is educated and that is personable. And when you have those two things, you get people listening to you. And they listen to what they say, and it's easier for you to convey what you need from them or what you want from them on the field. And that's something that I think he is exceptional at.
We were introduced through a former teammate, Ellis Hobbs. At my job, I was actually styling Ellis and his wife at the time, and he introduced me to Jerod. He needed his hair braided, and who would have thought 4 kids later, here we are.
No, this one. This shoulder. Let's see. Come here, watch film, work out, practice, and eat a lot of food.
We're always in a huddle. He just leads, he leads our family the same exact way, and he's always had that skill.
Happy Father's Day, dear Daddy.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Just having their support, their encouragement on a daily basis has been huge.
Oh, my bad.
I never considered coaching anywhere else. It never crossed my mind. It was really like an agreement between Bill and my wife. They kind of talked about it. There was a spot open, and it just kind of all worked out.
Every time I would see Bill, he would mention to me, Jerod's supposed to coach. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that, because he always kind of he was the coach on the field. So I kind of knew that, but I don't think that time commitment was something that he was ready to do at the time, or even mentally, he probably needed to be away from football for some time. But Bill would always put bugs in my ear and let me know, he belongs here. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but, he doesn't seem like he really wants to go. And then the phone call came. He knows that, who better to learn from than Bill.
I honestly just wanted to come and learn from Bill. And it wasn't even really about the X's and O's. It was just about leadership and building a culture.
He learned a lot from Bill on and off the field. A lot of things that Bill teaches them in the locker room, he applied to his life, even just with simple things like just do your job. I just think that Bill has a very get to the point, no small talk, get things done kind of mentality, and Jerod is all about that as well. Just get things done. It's not really much to talk about, just do your job. He prides himself in having high energy.
Hey, that's it. That's a turnover right there. That's it. That's a turnover right there. Hey, that's it.
To now see him as a person who knows a player might need a little extra pep talk or a little extra TLC, he makes it a point to check in on those people and to just be that source of energy for somebody else that might need that lift me up throughout the day.
That is what a leader does, right? How do I make these other people around me better? How do I take all of those principles and kind of come up with my own leadership philosophy? That was passed down to me. who is passing the baton to who. People that influence my coaching style, we'll start with Bill. Probably the greatest to ever do it. Learned a lot from him. He's a teacher first and foremost. My manager at Optum, Mike Mateo, learned how to deal with people, right? Different groups of people. And then also my mom, right? My mom, she worked very hard, and my grandfather, like I said, in the military, discipline. I learned a lot from him as well. And then also Teddy Bruschi, played the same position. He protected me. The best leaders that I've been around have been able to command a room and really just get a group of people going after a common goal.
It is just so cool for me to see him be so successful in the way he communicates and his knowledge of the game.
He's a really fearless man. I feel like he just tackles everything head on and nothing is off limits for him. He just knows that whatever it is, whatever the obstacle is, he can get through it. And I think that that's one of the things that I loved most about him when I met him.
I think his defining characteristic is that all-in mentality. If he's going to do something, he's going to do it right. And whatever he sets his mind to, it's not just going to be done to a certain level, it's going to be done almost to a master level or a perfectionist level. Just being Jerod is what makes him special.
For me, with Jerod, it's almost like pride too, because I know how it started for him, and to see him grow as a man, as a player, and now a coach.
Diversity is huge. When I talk about diversity, I'm not only talking about black and white. And so when you think about like how that changes, really it's about opportunity, and it's about being around the right people. Like, we need to deal with people outside of our race, outside of our gender, build those relationships. We need to do more. I don't think leaders are born, but I have seen people evolve into leaders. You can't win until you keep from losing. And just that principle alone. What out here is keeping me from winning? Hard work works.